See that it's checked out, but it's not being edited. I'm going to say I'm going to edit it. Scroll down here. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. I don't know what was going on there. That was a little browser glitch. That had nothing to do with SharePoint. But so I'm able to add text here, and then I can just save it and close it. I didn't check it back in. Nobody else can go and mess with it. But the published version is still published and still accessible to the world, still listed on the menu. When I'm done with it, when I've added all my links, I can go back to publish. I can publish it. One final thing. I don't like all that junk I put in there. I can also do this. I can say discard checkout. If I discard my checkout, it's going to discard all the changes back to the last time I checked it in. So all those saves that I did, save and close, or just save and keep editing, save and close, save and close, save and close, if I don't check that in, those things are only saved until I either check it in, or they're only saved permanently, made a version when I check it in. If I don't check it in, if I just discard the checkout, it rolls back to where the last minor version was, or the last major version if I didn't have minor versions after I published it. Does that? I hope. Well, let me just say I hope that starts getting you there. Now, I want to show you the organizational structure and how the permissions are set up, and we're done. So I just let it roll. This is all part of this thing. So when you come to SharePoint, so again, here I am logged in. Remember, if I go here as just this person who only has rights in the research site, can't see anything. But when I come to research, there's some stuff that I can see that's important. So the first thing is, or besides new page and edit page, this manage content, view all site content. Manage content and structure is probably something that most people aren't going to use. View all site content is very important because it lets you view all the site content. So you can go to your documents library right there and say, okay, do I have everything in here that I need? That's the quick and easy way to get in there. Images, we've all seen that already. You get this nice little thumbnail view, and then here's all my pages. And this is the way to get back to the pages that have never been checked in. Because remember, if it's not checked in, it won't be on the menu. This is the way just to get to look at all of your pages and get to any one of them that I want to work on. So, you know, this one here that Trevor created, I can go edit that because I'm a contributor in this site too. Now, I think that basically covers how to create a page, how to check it in, how to make it be published. I just wanted you to see how the structure works and how everything is controlled, so you'll just understand basically how the processes are controlled in here. So I'm going to say I want to use another account. I'm going to log in as me, as my local user that has full power over this site. And now what you'll see is my menu gets a lot bigger. And an important one to see is this site permissions. And this is especially important for people who will be managing the site. Because what we do is we divide the site up into what we call subsites. And each subsite has groups that control who has access to what. So the subsite names or the groups names match, the subsite or the group names match the names of the site. So you can see we have an overall set of groups, and then we have groups that are just for this. So this is the research site. So we have research approvers. We already know what approvers do, and here it is listed over here. They approve. Contributors can contribute. Owners have full control. So we can give someone ownership of a site, which means they can make sites within the site. They can do a whole lot of other things to the site. They can also do a lot of damage. But one of the important things that they can do, most important things, is they can give other people access to the site. So in this case, research owners doesn't have anybody in it. So I'm going to show you. I'm just going to say, I'm going to put a new user in here, and it's R. Stevens, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to make Dick Stevens, and I'm not going to send him a welcome email, but I could. I'm going to make him, he's already in the system elsewhere, so I'm going to make him an owner here. Now, he was just a contributor or an approver. Now he's an owner. And just giving you sort of a flyover, hopefully, of how this works. What you'll see is that owner group then is owned by site-wide owners. So we can make somebody a member of site-wide owners. They own all the other owner groups. So a person that's a site-wide owner at the top can put anybody in any other owner group because they own all the other owner groups. Now, when we come down to back to that site permissions for this research site, the approvers, for example, and here's Dick is in here already, but he doesn't need to be now because he's an owner. If I look at the settings here for research approvers, it's owned by research owners. So now that Dick is a research owner, he can put anybody he wants in the approvers group, or the contributors group, or the site managers group, because these are all owned by that, or the visitors group. And so what can these people do? Well, we already talked about the first three. Site managers are the ones that can change the way the menu looks, change the ordering basically of the menu, and they can put web parts on pages. Is that right? I think you have to be a site manager to put web parts on pages.
I don't think that's true.
No? Okay.
I think anybody can put a web part on.
All right, we'll have to make sure that that's true. And then visitors can just read. But it can be important sometimes for somebody to be a visitor. We don't use this group very much because we have a site-wide visitors group. And basically, when you're managing this, you want to put anybody that has any kind of access to the site in the site-wide visitors group. Because what that does is it lets them navigate around the site, the rest of the site that they don't have access to edit things, as if they were an anonymous user. They can only see the published stuff. But if they're not in that group, when they're not on a page that they have access to, they'll just get an error. They'll just get thrown out. So we want everybody to be in the site-wide visitors group. And then basically, they can read all the pages that are published. But you can't see anything that's not published. And that all, by the way, including this, this is sort of kind of a final thing. All of that functionality that you're seeing is part of what Microsoft calls security trimming. So basically what it means is that if you don't have access to something, they trim it away. So you don't see it at all. Rather than seeing it and being told no, if you only have read access to a certain part of the site, then you see only the stuff that's been published to people that can read it. If you don't have, as I do, full control of the site, if you're only an approver, you only see the items that are available to approvers. You don't see stuff grayed out. You just don't see it. Right? And that goes for pages and everything. It's an important concept to understand because when you go to look at a pages library, if you can see for some reason into the site, but you can't see, you know a page should be there, but you can't see it, it's probably because you don't have rights to see it and it hasn't been, no version of it has been published. So somebody can say, oh, I put this on the site, I did it, but you don't have rights to see it because it hasn't been published yet. So you go navigate to it, even though you're on the authenticated side, you don't see it. Because you're only a visitor there, you don't have rights to see stuff that hasn't been published. If you're totally a visitor to a subsite, you're not going to see even the site actions menu. But, finally, this is important. Now, if I go back home, there's this navigation, by the way, handy dandy thing when you get down different levels. This little thing pulls down and shows you what's inside of what. So research is inside the main site. Do you have any things that have subsites yet?
Yes, courses and placement has a full site hardware.
Okay, so notice when I was logged in before as the UDEL Rich, I couldn't even see this menu. But now if I go inside courses and placement, because I have full rights here, I have this menu, and what we want you to see, this is important to see, if you look down there where I'm hovering, see right now I'm in the site name, and then this is called a subsite. And then the pages are always inside. This is the pages library where you create the pages. It has this capital P that I wish it didn't have. If we want the menu to break down, what we do is we put sites inside of sites. So there is a site here called a sub-site called Courses for Non-Majors. When I click on that, now you see pages within that sub-site of this. And the URL looks like this. This is the main site. This is the Courses and Places sub-site. This is the Courses for Non-Majors sub-site. And then we have the pages library within that. If I create a new page here, it's going to become a menu item at this level. Can it go down and get another level?
Yeah, it does.
Is there one that does?
Yeah, just keep it. It may be the very top section, I think. Course for non-majors, and then click on the number.
Oh, are these sub-sites?
I think so.
No, that's a page. Those are all pages.
All right, sorry, that's as far as it goes.
Okay. It can, and I don't know if there's any place on here, but just so you know, it can go down more levels. So you just, at first this may seem confusing, but the cool thing is, another way to say it is, you just go where you want to put the page, and then you say new page. So if I'm making a new page about math course registration, I go here to the math course registration section, and I say, Site Actions, new page. And then it's going to take you through everything that we just started out from the beginning. It's going to say, I'll just show you, new page name. And we're at the beginning of our story. We put in the page name, we say create. It's going to make a page. When you fill that page out, you use all of the OmniPage skills that we demonstrated. When you check that page in, it's going to become a menu item right here. And then if you're a site manager, you can move this frequently asked questions item above course registration if you wish to, even though it's not alphabetical order. That's what site managers can do.